Welcome to Ganita Sutras Mathematics on First Principles classes. Today we are in Unit 2. Unit 2 will focus upon vision, tools and strategy of mathematics of Ganita Sutras. In Unit 1 we have focused upon the text of Ganita Sutras. Lessons 1 to 12 of Unit 1 shall be revisited, and one shall have a blissful prayer of Vedic mathematics as the text of Ganita Sutras. We have also been initiated as that the text of Ganita Sutras is availing 36 letters of Devanagari alphabet. In terms of these 36 letters of Devanagari alphabet, there is a composition of 46 formulations, 24 of Ganita Sutras and 22 of Ganita Sutras. Further, we have been exposed as that these 46 formulations, compositions of availing 36 letters are themselves the compositions of sub-formulations, and further we had seen that 24 formulations of Ganita Sutras are leading to 87 sub-formulations, and 22 formulations of Ganita Sutras are leading to 80 sub-formulations. This way, the text of Ganita Sutras and Sutras is a composition which avails 36 letters, and these 36 letters are availed to compose 24 formulations of Ganita Sutras and 22 formulations of Ganita Sutras. These 24 formulations of Ganita Sutras lead to 87 sub-formulations, and 22 formulations of Ganita Sutras lead to 80 sub-formulations, and this way we are having a range of as many as 167 sub-formulations, or the formulations we will designate them. Now further we know that the source reservoir of values of Vedic knowledge, Vedic systems, Vedic mathematics and Ganita Sutras is the soul syllable Om. Therefore, this soul syllable Om as such is the source formulation, and this source formulation that way takes us to a set of 168 sub-formulations or formulations as these may be called. Now, today we are to revisit these 36 letters of Devanagari alphabet being availed by Ganita Sutras text, these 24 and 22 formulations of Ganita Sutras text and Ganita Sutras text, and further 87 sub-formulations or 24 formulations of Ganita Sutras and 80 sub-formulations of 22 sub-formulations of Ganita Sutras. And then we will see that these all set of formulations, sub-formulations are to accept a soul syllable Om as the source reservoir of values and features, in terms of which we will have a vision, we will reach at the tools and the strategy to reach at the end reach values of the mathematics of Ganita Sutras. Let us open a new page in our Vedic mathematics referencer, and we shall mention it that in unit 2 the focus is going to be upon the vision, tools and strategy of the Ganita Sutras mathematics to have the end reach bliss as per the vision of the text itself. Then we shall further add as that soul syllable Om is the source reservoir, and soul syllable Om as well is a formulation, and this formulation is of Anunasik and elongated Ukar. These give the values 10 and 6, and value 6 is the value 0, 1, 2 and 3 of hypercube 2, and value 10 is 1, 2, 3 and 4 of hypercube 3. As such, hypercube 2 together with hypercube 3 is the source format, and hypercube 2 means a square and hypercube 3 means a cube. As such, square and cube are being both taken up simultaneously, and with it the initiation for the tools of Ganita Sutras mathematics start flowing. Let us further make a note that each letter is having its specific value. Parallel to the specific value of each letter is a specific format which leads to the features. So this value of a letter and format of the letter and the format as set of features, these bring us within the personal intimacy, face to face with this values, features, format, organization, in terms of which we will be always and at every step be having a first visit to the vision as well as to the tools and the strategy in terms of which these tools are to be applied to attain the end reach of the mathematics of Ganita Sutras. With this background, let us now revisit the text of Ganita Sutras and Upsutras to reach at the tools, mathematical tools, which are being availed by the text of Ganita Sutras and Upsutras, and as such by the mathematics of Ganita Sutras. This text, as it is of 46 formulations, therefore each formulation be taken as a complete composition, a complete mathematical formulation, and this domain of each formulation will further on its chase, letter by letter chase, sequential chase will unfold for us, will bring us face to face with the sub-formulations which will ultimately take us to the tools being availed by this text for the mathematics, starting with the formulation Ekadhikain. We see that the first letter is A. It is the sixth vowel. It takes us to value 6. With it, we will have a pause here that letter A is taking us to value 6. Therefore, the vision part will be that we will be glimpsing, we will be chasing, we will be face to face with, we will be having a vision of 6-space format, and it will take us to Surya, sun, as 6 is the Ank of Surya. Therefore, with this vision, we will be having a domain before us, and it would be a domain of a sun. Therefore, the solar domain, our solar universe, is going to be the vision of mathematics of Ganita Sutras on first principles, is taking us to the sun, 6-space and solar universe. Ganita Sutras mathematics vision is the vision of the order of 6-space, the order of the sun of our solar universe. And for this vision, we see that value 6 is leading us to a Ank, a Surya Ank. Therefore, Ank itself, which would mean a number. Therefore, the tools, the mathematical tools being availed by the mathematics of Ganita Sutras are having many categories, and let us begin with the category of Ank, a number. Therefore, let us make a tabulation in our Vedic mathematics referencer, in which we shall mention that the first category of tools, mathematical tools of the mathematics of Ganita Sutras, or the number Ank itself, the formulation Ank, and this Ank itself will be taken as a tool. So numbers are being taken as tools. So number as such is being taken as a tool. And further we will see, we will notice that Ekadhikain, here Ek is the formulation, and this formulation is having a simple rendering, means 1. Therefore, we shall have a complete chase, a full chase of the entire text of the Ganita Sutras and Upsutras, and have a enlistment of the formulations which are having numbers, values. The first entry is Ank in this category, and the second entry is Ek. Formulation Ek has a simple rendering, accepts value 1. So number 1 as such is the mathematical tool of this category, which is being availed by the text of Ganita Sutras. Then see, if we search, take it to be our blissful exercise, and this blissful exercise will ultimately give a search for us, bring a reach with us, that the formulation Dve is also being availed by this text. A formulation Dve is there whose simple rendering is 2. Then see that 1 and 2 are being availed. Ek and Dve formulations are being availed by the text of Ganita Sutras and Upsutras. However, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 8 are being not availed. Therefore, we shall make a note that text of Ganita Sutras is a composition in the form of formulation and sub-formulations, and these sub-formulation as these are only with respect to the number values 1, 2, then it is 7, it is 9, 10 and shunya, 0 as well. These 6 values, these 6 number values as mathematical tools are being specifically availed by the text of Ganita Sutras and Upsutras and the text of 3, 4, 5, 6 and 8. These 5 values 3, 4, 5 and 6 and value 8 as such are being not availed by the text of Ganita Sutras. Here one can make a note that these quadruple values 3, 4, 5 and 6 are parallel to fourfold manifestation layer which of hypercube of 5, the representative regular body of 5 space. With it, let us further make a note that the mathematical tools being availed by the text of Ganita Sutras and Upsutras in the form of the formulations ek, dvay, sapt, now, das and shunyam. These formulations ek, dvay, sapt, now, das and shunyam are the formulations. So it will be a blissful exercise that we shall be through this text once more with more intimate eye to locate these formulations ek, dvay, sapt, now, das and shunyam. We can see that shunyam is the formulation which is part of the text of Ganita Sutras 5 and 6. Therefore, let us have a tabulation, and in this tabulation let us mention in first column these values, 6 values. Then in the second column let us mention the sutras in which these formulations are marking their presence. Ganita Sutra 5 is Shunyam Samya Samuchay. Shunyam is the formulation which is occurring in Ganita Sutra 5. Likewise, Anurupe Shunye Anyat, Shunya is also the formulation which is marking its presence in Sutra 6. Therefore, in second column, we should make a mention against the entry 0, and we should mention it in the formulation form as a shunyam, and then make a note that the formulation shunyam with its simple rendering as 0 value is marking its presence in Sutra 5 as well as in Sutra 6. Likewise, if we have a visit to the text of Ganita Sutras and Upsutras, it will come to pointed notice that Ganita Sutra 1 text, Ganita Sutra 2 text, Niklim Navasta Charma Madashyata. So, Sutra 2, the second Ganita Sutra 2 text means Niklim Navasta Charma Madashyata is the text which is availing formulations now as well as thus. The simple rendering of the formulation now is 9 and simple rendering of the formulation thus is 10. Therefore, these mathematical tools as value 9, as number 10 and as mathematical tool 10 as value 10 are being availed, and these mark their presence in the text of Ganita Sutra 2. Therefore, against these two entries, we can, in the next column, we can specific mention that the mathematical tool as value 9, as number 9, as formulation now is marking its presence in the text of Ganita Sutra 2, Nikhlim Navasta Charmam Dashata. Likewise, mathematical tool as number value 10, as formulation thus is marking its presence in the text of Ganita Sutra 2, Nikhlim Navasta Charmam Dashata. Likewise, if we reach a step ahead, this mathematical tool number value 7 as formulation Sapt is marking its presence in Ganita Upsutra 4, Kevale Saptakam Gunyat. Therefore, here we shall make a specific entry that mathematical tool as number value 7 as formulation Sapt is marking its presence in the text of Ganita Upsutra 4, Kevale Saptakam Gunyat. This mathematical tool as number value 1 is marking its presence as formulation Ek in Ganita Sutra 1 as well as in Ganita Sutra 14. And the formulation Dve of with respect to the mathematical tool as number value 2 is marking its presence in Ganita Sutra 12, Sopan Antyam, Dvayam Antyam. This way we will be face to face with these 6 mathematical tools as number values 1, 2, 7, 9, 10 and Shunyam, 0. So these 6 mathematical tools as number values are being specifically availed as formulation Ek, Dve, Sapt, Nav, Das and Shunya. Now these formulations, as these formulations are, and these are the straightway simple renderings of the formulations Ek, Dve, Sapt, Nav, Das and Shunya. However, these 6 formulations Ek, Dve, Sapt, Nav, Das and Shunya, which have the simple rendering as values 1, 2, 7, 9, 10 and 0 are having TCV values 8, 16, 14, 17, 10 and 18. Therefore, in the next column, in the third column of our mathematical tools availing number values, so category 1 of mathematical tools availing specific number values is a tabulation of 6 mathematical tools of values 1, 2, 7, 9 and 10 and 0. Therefore, in the second column, let us mention the formulations. First we should write the values 1, 2, 7, 9 and 10. Then we'll write the relevant formulations, and thereafter let us mention the sutras in which these formulations are appearing, as Shunyam is appearing in Sutra 5 and 6, Das and Nav are appearing in Sutra 2, Sapt is appearing in Up Sutra 4, Dve is appearing in Sutra 30, it is appearing in Sutra 13, Spanantim, Dvayamantim, and Sutra and formulation 1 is appearing in Sutra 1 as well as in Sutra 14. In the next column, in this table, let us recheck the transcendental code values of these formulations. The formulation 1 will be lead to the value 8. Formulation 2 has 16 as a transcendental code value. Formulation Sapt is having 14 as a TCV value. Formulation Now is having 17 as TCV value. Formulation Thus is having value Thus as TCV value. So here take a note that the formulation Thus is having simple rendering as 10, and also the TCV value here is of 10. It is a unique formulation, it is a unique feature, it is a unique value, it is a unique formulation, so we shall make a specific note against it. And the formulation Shunyam is leading to value 18. Now value 18 is the value which leads us to 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now make a note that these formulations are the specific manifestations. So the specific manifestations of number values as the simple renderings of the formulations Ek, Dvay, Sapt, Now, Thus and Shunyam availed by the text of Ganita Sutras and Upsutras are the manifested form. However, the values 3, 4, 5, 6 and 8 remain in unmanifest form. As such, let us make a note that this text of Ganita Sutras as it is availing is of a strategy, and strategy is that some tools are to be in terms of the specific values as a manifested form of the formulations like Ek, Dvay, then Sapt, Now, Thus and Shunyam. And then we see here that some of the values, these are 5 in number, these 5 values are not in a manifest form. So these remain in unmanifest form. There are mathematical tools which are of 2 categories. The first category of mathematical tool is of the manifested forms. These manifested forms means the specific formulations forming part of the text. These specific formulations which are marking their presence in specific compositions like Ek, Dvay, Sapt, Now, Thus and Ang. So, however, the second category of the mathematical tools are of the generic, of the same generic of the number values. However, these remain in unmanifest form. Here in this category, values 3, 4, 5, 6 and 8 are of the same generic as of the value 1, 2, 7, 9, 10 and 0, as these make 0 to 10 11 values. So there are 11 mathematical, there is a range of 11 mathematical tools of category 1 of number are there. Out of these 11 of range 0 to 10, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 8 are such. These 5 are in unmanifest form, while the remaining 6 are in manifest form. One can have a pause here and take note that the Ganita Sutras text, as we have seen, is beginning with the first letter A, which is of value 6. This number value 6 as such will help us appreciate how the text of Ganita Sutras is specifically availing the mathematical tools of the category of the number values, and these are in manifest form as 6 values, while in unmanifest form these are of 5 values. One can further have a pause here and take note that the Ganita Sutra 1 text Eka Adhikena Purven eka adhikena purve. Now see, this text is of two parts. First part is the formulation eka adhikena beginning with the letter A of value 6. The second formulation is beginning with the letter Pa of value 5. And also we know that Eka Adhiken Purven is raising a question, and the question is value 1 is more than which value? And the answer naturally is 0. Therefore, here when we are taking in manifest form value 6, then in unmanifest form there would be a value 5. When we are reaching from 1 and asking this value is more than, greater than which value? We say 0. And also we know that the difference between 1 and 0 is 1. Now the first letter A is having a value 6, and the first letter of the second formulation is having value 5, and the difference value again is 1. There are 5 unmanifest values and there are 6 manifest values. One shall have a further pause here and take note that as we had noticed that 5 space is having hypercube of 5 as its representative regular body. Now this 5 space is a representative regular body of a 5 space, and it is having a fourfold manifestation layer, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Further we know that 5 space is a solid order space. So this value 5 and this value 3 together with superimposition take us to value 8. It will help us appreciate as to how the Ganita Sutras, in their enlistment of the manifested mathematical tools of the category of number being 6, and the unmanifest tools, mathematical tools of this category of number category is 5. And a step ahead we will be ultimately knowing that this 5, we know that Vyakt, and then we reach at Avyakt, and from here we reach at Avyakto Avyaktat. We will coming to it. So from 3 space to 4 space to 5 space. When we are working within 4 space, then 5 space will go to a base and it will be unmanifest form. Anyway, we will coming to these when we will be finding out the strategy for these mathematical tools. Strategy to apply the applications for the processing steps is the utilization rules of these tools. This would be a next aspect. Here today we are focusing upon the first category of tools of number value. Number values are being availed 6 in a manifest form and 5 in unmanifest form. Let us be very specific that 5 space is having 11 geometries range. There are 11 versions of hypercube 5. There are 11 versions, there are 11 geometries of 5 space. Of these 11 geometries, these are of signatures -5 and +5, means -5 to 0 and 0 to 5. This gives us 6 as non-negative geometries and 5 as negative geometries. And other way around, we can have 5 as positive geometries and 6 as non-positive geometries. This classification of 11 geometries of 5 space as such is the focus format for appreciating the mathematical tools of category of number And these tools are 11 in number, of which 6 are in manifest form and 5 are in unmanifest form. And this organization is parallel to the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, 6 non-negative signatures, and -5, -4, -3, -2, -1, 5 as a negative signature. Other way around as well, -5 to 0 will be the non-positive signatures and 1 to 5 will be the positive signature. So it is this two-way double orientation of the classification features of the mathematical tools of number values. Therefore, before we proceed further, for further appreciation of this aspect, let us have a focus upon the formulation Ank. Now, Ank itself is a mathematical tool of the most general category. It means a number. Now, Ank means a number. This number means these specific values 0 to 11 or the values of classification as the versions of hypercube 5 and the geometries of hypercube 5, and the signatures are of the whole numbers 0 to +5 and 0 to -5. However, the number system as it is to be worked out. There would be a specific strategy. There is a specific strategy in the mathematics of Ganita Sutras to avail and to work out and to utilize the mathematical tools to reach at the further constructed number systems. And Vedic systems of mathematics of Ganita Sutras and Vedic systems in general and Vedic knowledge specifically is availing very different, very large number of categories and of different generics of the numbers values. Present day, when we extend the whole numbers to say integer, whole number, real numbers, and then the complex numbers, somehow we stop at this by proceeding like this. However, the Vedic systems go to the linear setup of a linear order, spatial setup, then solid order, then creative order, transcendental order, self-referral order, unity state order, natural order, Brahman order. So there are very large number of generics, whole range of generics which take us up till the Brahman domain, 9 space. So Vedic systems which are having a vision for mathematical chase of the existence phenomenon of our solar universe is also having a vision and strategy as well as the tools for reaching at this entire range of the number value system. The number value system as such in its generality is available to the mathematics of Ganita Sutras. Let us have a visit to the formulation Ank. Now, formulation Ank is availing 4 letters, and the TCV value is taking us to 1, 5, 1 and 1, which is equal to 8. It is equal to ek. And further we know that this formulation Ka, as Ka Brahma takes us to value 4, and as Ka Shiv takes us to value 5. Therefore, there is an inbuilt structural key in the formulation Ank which takes us to value ek, and there happens to be internal unfolding for the extension of the number value systems, and this number value systems, when unfold from within, then these take us from the linear order 3 space to creative order spatial space. Ka Brahma means a space which is presided by Lord Brahma, and Lord Brahma is a presiding deity of a 4 space. 4 space is a spatial order space. As such, within the formulation Ank as well as within the formulation Ek, there is inherent structural key which, in terms of which there happens to be unfolding process, in terms of which the number value system of the whole numbers ultimately continuously goes on unfolding different generic of the mathematical tools of the category of the numbers of values. It is this feature which is to be observed. It is this feature and it is this strategy of the text of the Ganita Sutras to have inbuilt structures, to provide inbuilt structural keys for having inner unfolding for the mathematical tools, which in this context of the category of the mathematical tools of the number values, which initially are being availed as 6 in a manifest form and 5 in unmanifest form, parallel to the 11 versions of hypercube 5 and 11 geometries range of a 5 space, which in terms of the structural key will start unfolding, and different generic of the number values and the mathematical tools will start unfolding and coming into play. It is this inherent feature, it is this value of the mathematical tools of the category of the number values being availed by the text of Ganita Sutras which deserves to be appreciated properly. And one may further have a pause here and take note that we have seen that the formulation Ek is of value 8, and likewise the formulation 3, Triya, as well is of Tisu value 8. It is here where the more beautiful, more blissful strategy is coming into play, that if we want to go through the format of a triple axis as 1, 2 and 3, then in the opposite orientation it will take us to 1, 2 and 3, with it that the third axis will become the first axis and first axis will become the third axis, and it is with this strategy that the number value 1 with its formulation Ek and number value 3 with its formulation Triya with the equal transcendental code value will bring us face to face with the phenomenon that though in the text we are having 6 values 0, 1, 2, 7, 9 and 10 in a specific manifested form, and remaining 5 values 3, 4, 5, 6 and 8 in unmanifest form. However, the structural keys embedded within these formulations lead us to a strategy, provide us a mathematical processing steps that the unmanifest form as well of its own in terms of the inherent structural keys and formats will mark their presence as manifested forms. Therefore, we shall sit comfortably, we shall permit the transcending mind to be parallel to the values and features of each and every letter of the text of Ganita Sutras and Upsutras, their sequence, their placement, their values, their features, their specific formulations in the text in a manifested form and the parallel unmanifest phenomenon as well being available and being availed by the mathematical Ganita Sutras. So these mathematical tools of Ganita Sutras become powerful, and as a parting here we can see that value 6 as hypercube 6 as a 6 space is taking us to sun. Now sun we know is having two wives. One is chaya, shadow, and another is sangya, nouns. We have to be very sensitively conscious, very gentle in absorbing this phenomenon, that in the reflection format, if object is to be given a name and is to be made a sangya, then the image of it as a reflection as well is to be approached specifically like the objects. It is this feature, it is this value which is to be absorbed, and sangya is of a TC value 25 while chaya is of TC value 8. Now value 8, we know that value 8 remains in unmanifest form. It is in unmanifest form. It is a chaya. It is the second wife of sun, Surya. Those who want to have a chase of the mathematics of Ganita Sutras and Upsutras, which is of the vision and order of existence phenomenon of our solar universe, shall not remain biased by the role of the nouns, sangyas, all those which are in manifested form and to which names and values can be attached. They have to be conscious that there is a domain which goes beyond the nouns, which goes beyond the manifested form, and it is going to be an unmanifest form, and this unmanifest form is like a chaya, a shadow. Therefore the shadows, the chaya, the unmanifest form, the images as well make a very large domain of our solar universe existence phenomenon, and this unmanifest, this chaya part, this reflection part, this unmanifest part, this black matter part of the existence phenomenon of the solar universe is equally a subject matter of a chase of the mathematics of Ganita Sutras. With this, let us accept that we have to sit comfortably, we have to pray in terms of the text of Ganita Sutras, and then we have to meditate. We have to permit the transcending mind to absorb the manifested part as well as the unmanifest parts. And the mathematical tools, how the mathematical tools of the manifested form with in terms of their internal structural keys will be available for the unmanifest form as well. This as well is to be absorbed, and it is only with absorption of this aspect that we will have a proper insight and we will have an appropriate enlightenment about the mathematical tools in manifested forms available in terms of the specific formulations of the text of Ganita Sutras and Upsutras. From this point onwards, we will continue further. Thank you very much.